I'm Dan Schmitt. I do a weekly television show called Team Chicago Challenge. It's a motorcycle racing show, and my website for that is teamchicago.tv, teamchicago.tv. Also, in 2012, I was a candidate for the 5th Congressional District, for the U.S. House seat, 5th Congressional District in the state of Illinois. I was running against Mike Quigley. I didn't win the election. I didn't raise enough money to put on a serious campaign. I thought my ideas would conquer all, but you need money too. But anyhow, so I have a website, a political website, and that is walkwithdan.com, walkwithdan.com. So you want to check that out. But the reason I'm putting these different clips together for YouTube and for Chicago Access is when I was a candidate and I was doing the different street fairs, whether it was Wicker Park, whether it was Bucktown, the different communities, Jefferson Park had a street fest, and I was talking to as many people as I could. I tried to talk to everybody. And I was shocked how many people do not understand economics, simple economics. What makes the world go round? Sure, money makes the world go round, but the term I am using, I'm going to coin the term, is ill-educated. They're not that the people are not bright, they're very bright. They're very smart. Americans are probably the smartest people alive. When it comes to innovating, creating, nobody is beyond the Americans, believe me. I mean, we may have problems with so-called school scores, but when it comes to being smart, the Americans are still very smart. But they are ill-educated when it comes to economics. So I'm going to do a course, and I'm going to do in the next 10-12 minutes, I'm going to teach you about economics as quick as possible. And I'm going to call this one Eco Part A. The reason I'm calling it Part A, and I don't want to call it 101 or anything, because the colleges, no doubt about it, have failed. I mean, I talked to too many people who go to college, and it seems like they don't teach anything. I mean, people graduate college, don't understand the banking system, don't understand have a checking account, how to balance a checking account. I'm not saying everybody. There's a lot of bright, smart people, no doubt about it. But a lot of people don't understand a lot what is economics. So simply, what I'm going to explain in this show is what is basic economics. What is profit? So let's go back. I was only, kind of can't remember how old I was, but I seen a movie called The Pawnbroker. It starring Rod Steiger, and he played a Jewish guy that owned a pawn shop. The theme of the show was that he lived through the Holocaust. He was here. He had this big guilt trip. And he had a young Puerto Rican guy working with him, for him, at the pawn shop. And there was a little conflict between them because he was from the suburbs, the Puerto Rican kid was from the city, you know, different generations, different cultures. But it got down to one little scene where the Puerto Rican kid says to him, he says, Mr. So-and-so, I can't remember his name, he says, what is business? Or how does this work? How does this whole thing work? And he looked at the Puerto Rican kid and he said, you buy a piece of cloth. You buy a piece of cloth for a penny. You tear the piece of cloth in half. You sell one half for a penny, and you sell the other half for a penny. That's as basic as you can get when it comes to what is economics, what is business, what makes the world go round. Now you might say, well, then you're cheating someone because you only paid a penny. No, but you had the penny to buy it. And if someone's willing to pay the penny for that half a piece of cloth because they don't have any cloth. So you can go, now what they teach in school, from what I'm hearing, okay, and not that I'm in the classroom, but what I'm hearing from people, they try to make it sound any profit is not good. I mean, it's like profit is evil, making money is evil, and yet the school teachers are getting paid. They're going to school, they went to school to get paid. I mean, what are they selling? School teachers are selling their knowledge. They're selling their time. They made an agreement. They are getting paid so much money for so much of their time. So they're in economics, whether you get paid, if you get a job and you're working in a factory, and it only pays so much. If you accept that, you are selling your time to them. You are selling your knowledge. So economics is very simple if you sit down and think about it. When you think about it simply. So a lot of things people don't understand. Why is profit evil? No. What is profit? Profit is making a percentage of what you're selling is profit. So don't confuse, I was listening to someone on the radio, and they're confusing wages with profits. No, wages, like I said, you are selling what you have. You have knowledge, you're selling it to the school, you're selling it to the factory, you're selling it to the company. You know about computers, you can program computers, you can write a website, you are selling your knowledge. That's what, but don't confuse that with profit. What profit is, you are taking an item, you are improving on it, you are creating it, you are moving it, you are advertising, you are taking a product and you are making something from it, and you are making a profit. And then people say, well, people don't need to make profit. Well, if there's no profit, there's no reason to do it. This is the trouble which I see in the government today. This is why these guys in Washington, D.C., believe me, those top 20 people that work right around our president and our president himself, when it comes to understanding business, nobody there understands business. When it comes to Springfield, we have this governor, Pat Quinn, maybe you heard of him. I mean, he was so involved with Cub and the activists and all that, and it turns out he's as dumb as a nail. This guy is as unbrilliant as the dark hole in space. I mean, it's unbelievable. And then you look at Michael Madigan, and you look at Cullerton, the people that run this, our mayors of Chicago, Richard J. Daley, Richard M. Daley, Rahm Emanuel. These people are not bright people. So when it comes to profit, if they make profit, it's okay. But if someone else is making profit, they for some reason they think it's evil. But you have to understand, without profit, without making some money, nobody would do anything. You think Henry Ford invented, he didn't invent the first car, he improved on the car. In fact, Henry Ford built a luxury car, a V8, sitting right there in Nebraska. There's one in existence. They don't have one in Dearborn, but there's one in Nebraska. He built a V8 car that was going to be a luxury car, and he built the Model T. And his decision was, what do you bring to market? And he brought the Model T because he knew he could make it easier, simpler, and potentially make more money. In fact, the Model T, when it first came out, if I'm not mistaken, was like $2,000. I may be wrong. Maybe it might have been $1,200. I'm trying to remember what I've read. Maybe $1,200. But and that was in 1908, 10, 12, something like that. By 1920, he was still selling the Model T, and it was down to $600. So not only did he make money, but he also reduced the price so he could sell more, and he was making less money, but he was still making a profit. There's that margin of profit. Nobody would be in business unless there was a profit. So if there's one thing I want to get across in this short little session called Eco Part A, is that profit is good. Think of what you own. Think of your smartphone. How cheap are smartphones now? How cheap is to get on the internet now? You have a smartphone. I just got an ad the other day from T-Mobile, $50 a month. You got a computer in your hand that you spent $400, $500, $600. It's 10 times more powerful than all the computers on the space shuttle. Probably that computer in your hand is probably as powerful as the computers on the space station right now. You have this in your hand, and for $50 a month, you get unlimited phone, unlimited text, unlimited internet, and yet T-Mobile could still eke a little profit. And yet there will be people out there who will say, well, why is T-Mobile making money? If you can't make money, there's no point in being in business. So that's how simple. I'm going to make Eco Part A. You can come back. Remember, on YouTube, go to Dan Schmitt, 2 T's, Dan Schmitt, 2 T's. If you want to comment on this little clip, my email is teamdan45@gmail.com. My website, the motorcycle one, is teamchicago.tv. My website, the political one, is Walk with Dan. I'm going to be writing a column soon. I'm going to call my column I Am a Cowboy. So pay attention. But the main thing I wanted to get across in Part 1, Eco Part A, Economy Part A with Dan Schmitt, is profit is good. Without profit being there, there's no point in being in business. There's no point in owning a business. There's no point in making anything if there's not a profit. So profit is not evil, believe me. There are evil people making money, but profit is not evil. Thanks for watching, and I hope you learned something today. Go to Dan Schmitt. If you want more motorcycle stuff, Dan Schmitt. At motorcycle racing, Dan Schmitt. If you want to see aircraft stuff, EAA. But I hope you learned something in this short little clip. Profit is good.